You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. And I don't know if you're like me, but there's several times of the week that I wake up in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 in the morning, and I think, I have an idea. I got to write it down. And I open my notes on my phone and I write it down in my notes app. And I have a whole half a script in there. Not a script. I have ideas for a script. I have movie ideas, book ideas, all sorts of ideas, podcast ideas. Are any of them come to fruition? No, not yet. But not yet, I have not yet met Jake Kelfer. He's a 4-time best-selling author, CEO, and founder of Big Idea to Bestseller. So 3 or 4 a.m. idea to bestseller. He and his work have been featured on Forbes, Sports Illustrated, and ESPN. And he is now here on America Trends to help get some of my big ideas to bestsellers. Jake, welcome to America Trends.
It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me. Really excited to chat about books and business.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you here. So first, tell me about you. When did you turn your big idea to a bestseller? Tell me about your journey.
Yeah, so I was a sports nut. Okay, so I wanted to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. As a kid from LA, that was the dream. And so I actually got my first job working for the Lakers during Kobe Bryant's final NBA season. And while I was there, I was loving it. And I got to see firsthand the impact that Kobe Bryant had on the world. I got to see people from all over the world spend money, spend time, and travel to see him play in his final NBA season. And I thought to myself, how can I make this impact? How can I impact somebody so much that it changes the direction of their entire life? And I came home at 22 years old and I asked myself, what do I know and how can I help people? And to be honest, I didn't know much, right? I was 1 year out of college.
Yeah.
But what I did know was how to land my dream job, how to network, how to build a resume that got seen. And 6 months later, Kobe Bryant retires, I retire, and I launched my very first book, Elevate Beyond, which was a real-world guide to standing out in the job market and discovering your passion. And that's what started my book journey. And over the last couple of years, I've written 4 books before 30 and have helped countless others do the same.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I was reading your bio and it says life elevator. And I thought, what does that mean? Yes, elevate your work, the elevated entrepreneur, and elevate beyond. I love this. And this is a phrase that is in our vernacular now, I believe. People like leveling up, right? We need to elevate our mindset, our behavior, whatever it may be, to get to the next level. So tell me how that word came to you and how that whole process came to you, besides probably looking at Kobe Bryant and that world that you were in.
Yeah, so the word elevate, it's kind of funny. It ended up becoming obviously a cornerstone of what I do for my first 3 books and for my brand. But it was funny. I was sitting in a living room with my parents. I was living at my parents' home while I was working for the Lakers, working on this first book, and a title idea just wasn't coming to me. And so we were bouncing off all these different words, going back and forth, going to Barnes & Noble, spending hours looking at every title I could possibly find from all the best-selling books that I aspired to be like. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I say it, and I'm like, elevate. And right then and there, I start jumping. I'm like, let's go. I got so excited. And I knew that was going to be the title or part of the title because I wanted people to get to that next level. I wanted people to go one step further. I wanted them to take one more action. I wanted them to get to that place that they knew they were capable of going. They just needed a little more guidance. And so that's where Elevate kind of became the focal point of the first 3 books.
I love it. I love just your enthusiasm there where that's what happens, right? You get the idea and you're like, wait, that's it. That's the thing right there that's going to propel me to the next thing. So, I was reading this bullet point that says every business owner needs a book in 2023. So talk to me about that because I think, when entrepreneurs are experts in a field and they do have a book, that does take them to a whole nother level, right? So talk to me about that.
Well, when you look at some of the world's biggest thought leaders, what do they all have in common? Right? If you look at Brene Brown, if you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, if you look at some Bob Iger, all of them have books. Yeah. And most of them have multiple books. And so if you are a business owner in today's age, one, it's more competitive than ever before in the way the economy is and in the way of competition, which can be really exciting. But we need to have something that differentiates us and does it very quickly. Yeah. And a book is the only thing that's existed from the beginning of essentially time, right? Of being able to consistently show up and be used as a marketing tool. And so a book is a timeless principle, a timeless product, but even more so is a book is the most versatile marketing asset somebody could have. It's a free product. It's a paid product. It's a networking tool. It's a customer acquisition tool. It's the basis for a keynote.
Right.
It's a way to bring in coaching clients. It's a way to sell digital products. It's a way to onboard new clients and create a great customer experience. Your book can be used in a plethora of ways, and that's why in a highly competitive world that we live in, a book differentiates you at the highest level.
I so agree with all of that, and I have so many questions for you because I want to talk to you about how you even start the process, because there's several things here, how to save time by actually writing the book for, what is it, an hour a day or something is your premise? Okay, I want to talk about that. And also the process of launching it, and or do you pick an ebook? Do you self-publish? How long do you pitch to publishers before, all those things. But let's start with the actual writing of the book. What are some of your tips? Because you heard in my intro that I have all these ideas, and that's my goal for 2023, is to spend a little bit of time every day on it. We're almost at February and I haven't started on that goal yet, but it's progress, not perfection. But so talk to me about how you get people to actually do the writing.
So first of all, to answer all of your questions, yes, just yes, right?
Yeah.
But here's the truth, okay? We know that the majority of people have the big idea. We know that the majority of people want to write a book, but yet only a few people actually do end up writing their book. And what we have found through studying habit creation, through studying the ability to complete the book, through looking at our success from our clients, and also through my success, we've noticed that one of the biggest reasons why people don't actually write their book is because they don't know where to begin, or they don't believe that they have a message that's worth sharing, or that they start writing, but they get a chapter in, they get a couple ideas in, they revise it, they keep writing, they revise it again, and then the list goes on and on and on. They change their idea, and all of a sudden 3 months have gone by and they're right back to where they started.
Yeah.
And so what's really important is when you're thinking of writing a book, the first thing that you have to do is not write. It is not write. It's to make the commitment that you're willing to show up for yourself to create what will become a book. Mm-hmm. And I like to equate it like this. Most people, they don't wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to go run this marathon today.
Right.
What they do is they say, hey, I'm going to run a marathon in 6 months, and they sign up. Then maybe the next day they buy running shoes because their old ones don't work as well. Maybe then they buy a new pair of shorts. Maybe they go on their first walk. Maybe they take that first 5K. Maybe they start to learn about recovery.
Yeah, baby steps,
and eventually,
right? Yeah.
Exactly. And eventually, they end up running that marathon.
Yeah.
And the same concept is with a book. We view as a society that a book is this crazy large thing that's only available to the select few. When in reality, if you can break it down into much smaller actions and you can be committed to that process, with the right guidance, you can finish a rough draft in 30 days and have a bestseller in 3 to 6 months. Okay. That will change your entire life. And so that's where I would say is really key to understanding the mindset around writing a book before actually writing the first word.
Yeah, I love that. And invariably, whether it's a book or a marathon or whatever it is, there's always that point when you hit the wall, where you're just like you said, you want to give up. Whether you're in a marathon, there's actually runners talk about that, right? Where they think they can't go one more step. And a lot of times you get to a process. I actually do have a book that I compiled stories many, many years ago from women who had lost their dads. And it was more of a passion project of mine. I do remember that phase of thinking, this is too hard. And being a little overwhelmed by how do I get to the finish line when I wasn't even 3 steps in. I hadn't even bought the new shoes yet, right? So it's like, how do you get your clients to kind of pace themselves? And maybe do you set up mile markers for them? I'm using all these analogies, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I mean, look, with anything that we do, we always say it's bigger than a book, okay? Because the book is just the vehicle to the opportunities that are going to come from it. But in order to have a working vehicle, let's go with another analogy here. In order to have a working vehicle, you got to have all the parts in the piece. and you got to gain momentum so that you can be really excited about the finished vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And so when it comes to writing a book, what we really focus on is we try to make book writing and the process as fun as humanly possible. So we've created gamification, we've created milestones, we've created small actionable wins that over time will create this momentum that leaves our clients so excited about their book and keeps them coming back. And that's the thing.
I love it. We need to keep our audience coming back because we got to take a quick commercial break. So will you stick around for one more segment? Because I want to talk to you more about the process of how you work with your clients and then how we get them to the end goal.
Absolutely.
We're talking to Jake Kelfer, big idea to bestseller.com, at jakekelfer.com, and we're America Trends. We'll be right back right after this.